Hello, I am Matthew Walloch. I am a computer science engineer graduate from devCodeCamp, Fermium cohort, and today I'd like to share with you my Capstone project combat consensus. A little overview about me. As mentioned, I am a devCodeCamp graduate. My best friend is the one that got me into coding. He is a software developer himself, and he tried to convince me for a long time that I had the mind and aptitude for programming, and it took me a while, but I'm here now. I am also a huge fan of combat sports. I predominantly watch MMA with UFC, and it is pretty relevant to the project and was actually inspired by an old project that said friend wanted to do with me. Now, understanding the problem that the application tries to solve, or rather brings attention to, the scoring system in MMA is a bit prone to controversy. It uses a 10-point must system, and while there is specific criteria that I won't dive into, it largely boils down to who the judges felt like won, which isn't the greatest way to score something. It's not as determined as a game of football or basketball. If we were to imagine a game of football or basketball being played, and a panel of judges were to determine which team they thought won based on how they performed, it would make very strange results for those types of sports. Now, to address this issue, I wanted to make this application a consensus gathering application. What it aims to do is have users post their scorecards just like the judges do, and then we can see the difference in what the fans think versus what the judges think. And I believe the community interaction that would come with this app would be good to highlighting those issues in the scoring system, as well as improving engagement amongst the fan base. So the tech stack over a 15, 16-day sprint, I used Python for a Django REST API backend, as well as React. So we have the big three: JavaScript, HTML, CSS. It also has a MySQL database as well. I did some testing in Postman, Cypress, and I deployed it to AWS after containerizing it in Docker. Some of the features that we'll see throughout the walkthrough is a landing page with a navigation bar, pages for events, matches, and user profiles. There's login and registration capability, and we'll submit a scorecard together and then see what admins can do as well. Let's hop over to the application. This is the deployed application, as you could find it with this link up here at any point in time. Now we can notice that we have events and matches in the navigation bar. Log out real quick so we can also log back in. And then our homepage meets us with a fan and official favorite. Firstly, we're going to go to the events page. So this has all the events, and this was added just for this, and we will edit this later. So I'm going to click on UFC 281, and this will show us all the matches on that card on that event day. So we can view the top one, and then Julio Arce is here, Montel Jackson's here, and these will change, and we'll see that change depending on who the fighters are. Also, all these scorecards are users, so we can see them and their username. And we have a prompt here to say login to score about. I'll click that. And then I am going to log in to an account I just made. And then it brings us back to the home page. We are logged in, as we can see by the logout prompt up here. This time, I'm going to navigate to a match by going through the matches page, which includes every match and I will go to this one. So now we have the prompt that says click here to post your score rather than log in, because we already are. And the fighters on either side have changed to reflect whom they are. So we're going to fill out a scorecard. This modal will pop up, and we can fill out what we believe the score should be. And I am going to vote in favor of Petrovsky and submit that. The page refreshes and it says thank you and puts the username, and we'll be able to find our username down here. I'm going to navigate back to the home page, and now we can see that the fan favorite has changed because the accumulative score has altered in his favor to be the favorite. One more thing we'll do, I'm just going to go back to any old one. Back on this mouse, our old favorite still here. And we are going to click on see Smitty's card. And that takes us to see Smitty's user page, where it has a record of all of his scorecards, as well as his accuracy rating. The 100% accuracy would be the judges' exact scores, which are pretty much impossible to get. But this is a standard deviation from their scores, which was really interesting to have to learn how to do standard deviation when I previously had very little experience on what it was. And it was a bit of a challenge to figure that out on top of everything else, but a worthy one. I will now log out, and now we are going to log in to an admin account. I'm going to move this to the side just for the sake of admin security. When we click log in, we have a new top bar with a slightly different navigation. So what we can do is go to various models, and we can have full CRUD functionality on each of them. So we have our Git, we can delete, we can edit it, or we can post a new one. Now, in events, we had that presentation one before, and I think I want to change that. So we'll change the ID to 4. And then I'm just going to call it changed to present that. Keep the date the same, and we'll change the event. And now we can see that it has changed. And now I'm going to delete it fully. So now that event should no longer exist. We can log out and check the events, and it's no longer there. Now we're gonna hop back into the slide deck as I talk about future iterations that I would like to make in the future. Firstly, the 10-point must system, I don't think I enforced strongly enough. That's something I would like to change, is to ensure that every user has a 10 in each match for one fighter and one fighter only. I would also like to better change the calculation for the favorites, as it is based on accumulative points rather than a proper form of average that I think could dictate it better by like dividing it across all users. And then I would also like to improve the styling and create media queries for a mobile-friendly version. The application, I think, already lends itself to a mobile format, and I'll hop back over there, because if we were to remove the pictures on the side and then shorten this up a bit, and then with a slight change to the nav bar, I think it would already be extremely mobile friendly or, half screen friendly. And I think that would be worthwhile to do in a full application. But other than that, that has been the entirety of my presentation. I've showed all the features that I would like to show, and I hope to make some improvements on the future and hope to see you out in the wide world of software development in the future. Thank you.